sort of, it's a two-way street. What the films reflect, yeah, and what actually is happening in the society. So it's a two-way street. What is happening in the society, the kind of films that are being made get affected by it. Not what I was, you're not what you were yesterday even. People are changing. And the entire, when you get into neuroscience, it tells you that we are literally changing faster than a second. So the point is that everything is different always. If you ask me what is different for me, first of all, personally, I cannot just segregate Bollywood and just talk about Bollywood and say that's different. For me, the entire existence is so different because I've literally been born again, and that was only 20 years ago. So I have a very young mind, and I have actually a younger mind than the person who actually had the accident. Because Anu was very, very, very grown up and achieved, and so for me, this is a fresh start. And I have a childlike curiosity towards things. And at the same hand, I have an acceptance to the worst, things that in the past I would say, oh my God, I just don't want to, it's avoidable, I don't like it. Or, all those things, I just, my entire perspective is new and fresh. So they say that my brain is actually 40 years younger, which means I have a 15-year-old brain right now. So the thing is that for me, everything, yes, but on the other hand, there is some wisdom which has awakened. And that wisdom is telling me beyond what actually meets the eye. And so if you come to Bollywood and say, what is it that meets the eye? So one of the things, if I were to tell you literally, logically, the change, one of the biggest changes is that when I left in 1995, I was a cover girl and, my stories were all over the place. But at that time, we were ruled by the underworld. The corporates were far from coming to Bollywood at that time. And it was only in the late 90s that the corporates came into Bollywood. And once the corporates started to come in, like UTV and all these guys started to come in, the entire face of Bollywood started to change because the economics changed. So the point is this, that yes, and then ever since, there's just it's been an upward climb, which I am very excited to see. Yeah. And I also see that, therefore, because of this entire humongous change that is happening, apart from that, of course, India has changed so much. India was a third world country. When I was in America and when I was modeling abroad, people used to look at me and say, where are you from? Spain, right? Or are you a mulatto from France? So when I said I'm an Indian, they would just shrug it off. Oh, no, you can't be Indian. The worldview of India was so low. And I'm literally talking 90s, mid-90s. So I'm really glad to see. Now, India, of course, the economy has changed. India is shining in so many different ways, right? And today, India is pretty much at par with the West and everything else. So I think that's a huge change, and that reflects in Bollywood as well.
Right.
Yeah. The thing is that because of the gamut changing, the role of the woman has changed. right? Now, you see a lot of girls who are working girls and it's fine, right? So the entire society is more woman centric, so to speak, right? So there are like families and their mother-in-laws that are actually supporting their daughter-in-laws to go out and work or to go and study further, to do something. So I think that and also it's like sort of, it's a two-way street. What the films reflect, yeah, and what actually is happening in the society. So it's a two-way street. What is happening in the society, the kind of films that are being made get affected by it. What is shown in films, the kind of roles that girls and boys, the heroes and the heroines play, the actors play, according to that, the mindset of the younger generation and the people around starts to get influenced. Yeah? Women, by and large, are not really focusing on self-development, because they are, and it's in some way you would say, oh, it's an arguable topic. You would say, somewhere you'd say, oh yeah, that's, but they are looking after the family. Because the woman is the backbone of the family. The man may earn or whatever. And even if the woman is a working woman, she still plays the role of like looking after the entire family, right? At home. So yes, what you're saying, that do they give enough time to healing? I think they don't give enough time to themselves, period. And I'm a strong supporter of the fact that women, and that's why you see all my posts, I keep on saying self-love and, like self-healing and, it's like know yourself. Like, and I'm talking about the girls as much as I'm talking about the boys. But the thing is that my healing, so of course I'm like a phenomenon. I don't, whether I like it or don't like it, and I cannot even be like egoistic about it and say, wow, I'm so vain, this is me, I mean, like, I just cannot be, because life has happened to me, and mercifully and luckily so, that's the way it's gone. In all the successes that came at such a young age. I was in my early 20s when Ashiki happened, and by the time I was in my late 20s, I had already quit. Not quit. I thought I'll take a break and do some self-healing and find happiness, which I wasn't finding. Being the superstar that I was like, this isn't making me any happier, So what is it that makes a person happy? So that's what took me apart. And I must say that that's actually what has helped me I would have died. The doctors said that my gestation period was 2 to 3 years, even after my coma, which was long coma. And they thought that I would never wake up from the coma. When I woke up, they were like, 2 to 3 years at the most, because she's going to be bedridden and she will be what they call a vegetable case. And vegetable cases have to learn A, B, C, D again. And they normally cop it within 3 years. And after 3 years, when doctors saw me trying to catwalk, my body was still paralyzed a little bit. But I was still like, my spirit was like full on, right? And I was like trying to walk into Breach Candy Hospital, doing my catwalk, And the doctors just sprung up their chairs. They couldn't believe.